Okay, well, thank you very much. Kumusta kayo mga Filipinos dito po sa Malaysia, dito po sa Sabah, especially dito po sa Kota Kinabalu. Kumusta kayo, Apamacham? And salamat pagi, salamat patang, and salamat malam sa lahat sa atin. Ang mga Filipinos dyan po sa Pilipinas, mga kababayan natin, mga relatives, friends natin, Pinoy, kumusta kayo dyan sa Pilipinas? And of course, huwag natin kalimutan din ang mga kababayan natin po, mga overseas Filipino workers sa iba-ibang parte ng mundo. They are working there, striving very hard, sacrificing all for the love of their loved ones, and of course, para sa Pilipinas po. No? Malaking tulong ang mga Filipinos, overseas Filipino workers dyan po sa Pilipinas, kaya nga kailangan po, kailangan po ang gobyerno to really look after, take good care itong mga Filipinos. Sabi nga, ang former presidente ng Pilipinas, si President Rodrigo Roa Duterte, ang mga overseas Filipino workers po ay ang modern heroes natin dyan po sa Pilipinas. Totoo naman yan po. Why modern heroes po? They are not fighting using guns, mga armas po. But they are fighting, they are helping, they are protecting ang Pilipinas, ang nation natin po through their sacrifices po, no? Sacrifices and through their financial remittances po para at least ang economy natin sa Pilipinas will go up, no? Will go up, and of course we will see more developments. Sana lang po, more developments po. And not like what is happening now po. Ang pera namin, mga overseas Filipino workers, went to the wrong people. Went to the wrong people. When I say wrong people po, huwag na natin be hypocrite. It went to some of these greedy politicians natin, mga lawmakers natin, ang mga senador, allegedly, ang mga congressmen, mga government officials natin po nasa pwesto, and of course, ang mga corrupt contractors natin po. And I'm referring to itong very big scandal, corruption scandal dyan po sa Pilipinas. Ongoing ito po, issue ito ngayon sa Pilipinas, ang flood control project anomalous deals. And it involves, sabihin natin, not only millions, but trillions of taxpayers' money. Dahil dyan po ang mga Filipino galit na galit. So this time, today, October pa lagi tayong October, no? Today, November 3rd na po, no? Tapos na ang undas, back to normal na ang mga Filipinos, na tayo. So, this, for the past 2 days, November 1 and 2nd, we already went and show our respect, remembered our departed loved ones po, no? And magandang balita na walang sabihin natin na malaking insidente o reports reported during the November 1st and 2nd All Saints Day and All Souls Day celebration po, no? Maganda, except that ang problema lang natin dyan po last November 1st and 2nd is mahal ang mga bulaklak natin dyan po sa Pilipinas. Tapos na po, ang bulaklak po, ang istorya ng bulaklak, mahal. Ngayon, isip na naman tayo po ang presyo ng hamonada natin, ang fruit salad natin, ang mga pansit natin dyan po sa Pilipinas. Dahil by next month, no? Ilan semana na lang, and we are going to again, sabihin natin, celebrate ang Pasko na. Pasko po, ang Christmas po, the coming of our Savior Jesus Christ. Sana lang po, wag naman itaas ang mga presyo ng mga essential goods natin po. Alam na natin po, no? Ang mga Filipinos, when it comes to Christmas, we really celebrate masking paano, masking mahirap na ang buhay natin po. But when it comes to Christmas, this is the month of merrymaking. And mga pamilya natin dyan po sa Pilipinas, we make sure masking paano, no? Masking paano po, pagdating ang Pasko, no? Eve of Christmas, and of course, ang New Year po, mayroon tayong konting celebration po. Kaya nga, tawag tayo sa gobyerno natin, no? Make sure that ang mga authorities concerned, mga departments natin, no? Government agencies and department concerns po, make sure na mag-monitor talaga kayo ang presyo dyan po ng ang presyo ng mga commodities natin po, essential goods natin sa Pilipinas for para more or less po, no? Makatulong na yon sa mga Filipinos, especially yon mga sa lower class, middle class po, no? Filipinos po, no? Para at least maski paano they will be able or we will be able to enjoy ang Christmas merry-making month natin. Merry-making month natin. Okay, the other thing I would like to remind or inform ang mga kababayan ko po dito sa Sabah, dito sa Kota Kinabalu, especially dito sa Kota Kinabalu po. I just want to inform you that bumalik na ang presidente natin, si President Ferdinand Bongbong Marcos, dyan po sa Pilipinas after attending itong APEC meeting dyan po sa South Korea, no? Sa South Korea. And during his meeting, during that event, he attended several meetings with Asian leaders, and they discussed on how to at least improve ang Rio natin. That includes ang Pilipinas po. In fact, lumabas na po ang statement ni BBM that he is encouraging foreign investors to come to the Philippines and invest po dahil maganda daw ang Pilipinas for business purposes or business expansion ng mga foreign investors natin po. But it was met with mixed reaction coming from different sectors in the Philippines po. Others were saying na that's only right for the president to entice or encourage or invite the foreign investors to come to the Philippines, mainly because if that thing will happen po, definitely it will help the economy of the Philippines. It will create job opportunities po. And maganda magiging ang ekonomiya ng Pilipinas natin. But others were saying, wasting of time ang BBM to make such an statement dahil po walang foreign investors will come to the Philippines po kung ang sitwasyon natin ganito. Anong ibig sabihin yon ang sitwasyon natin ganito? Ibig sabihin po, we have to address, immediately solve first ang problema natin, itong problema natin ng corruption sa Pilipinas, which is now getting worse. Getting worse po, especially for the past few years, grabe ang corruption sa Pilipinas. And because of this corruption, mga critics ni Marcos is saying, we don't believe na foreigners will come to the Philippines and invest kung ganon ang reputasyon ng Pilipinas na grabe ang corruption sa gobyerno natin. You just imagine, allegedly, senators, politicians, legislators, lawmakers natin po, like senators, congressmen, and top officials sa mga government agencies and departments are deeply involved dito po sa greed and corruption activities dyan po sa Pilipinas. So, wasting of time daw po. Kailangan ang presidente natin, si BBM, to focus first, clean ang bahay natin po, and make sure there will be political security and economic stabilities po. Kung wala yan po, we doubt, or many of them doubt, that foreign investors will come to the Philippines. And nagsalita na ang mga business sector natin sa Pilipinas the other day, mga malaking organizations, business organizations po, na nahirapan na sila ngayon to do business in the Philippines dahil itong corruption activities po carried out by allegedly lawmakers natin, mga senators, congressmen, top government officials, and at the same time ang mga some of our contractors or businessmen din. So, mahirap daw ang buhay na sa Pilipinas, and unless the president will do something very concrete, then it might change the situation. And in fact, kung makita natin po, if we will see the situation of the Philippines, an example that I would like to give you is itong lang exchange rate natin po, peso to US dollar. Now, exchange rate po, last week, I told you already that umabot na tayo, we came to a point wherein ang exchange rate ng US dollar against Philippines, against peso po, is 1 US dollar is equivalent to 59.17.19 pesos po. Mataas yun po, no? Mataas yun po. And it shows that there is something wrong with our economy po. And the worst thing, but we cannot blame also ang Philippine government, you know, by tomorrow, may time pa kayo, no? Mga kaibigan natin, mga kababayan natin dyan po sa Pilipinas, if you are watching me now, may time pa tayo po, ano natin, mga kotse natin, no? Today, make sure you do it today po, i-refill natin po, dahil ang presyo ng gasolina at saka diesel po, starting tomorrow po, will be increased. If I'm not mistaken, ang diesel starting tomorrow will be may additional po, no? Increase of price, ranging from 2 pesos and 50 cents up to 2 pesos and 70 cents per liter. Increment yun po. Malaking bagay yun. Malaking bagay yun. Ang diesel, ang gasolina natin po, ganon din po, I think is 190, something like that, if I'm not mistaken. So, may panahon pa tayo ngayon, mag-full tank na tayo ngayon po dahil bukas iba na ang presyo ng gasolina natin. Yan po ang sitwasyon sa Pilipinas. Mahirap na mahirap po lahat ng mga bagay, mga goods natin po, lalo na everyday tumataas. Mataas po. And paano po ang mga overseas Filipino workers? No? We are in many ways helping the economy of the country. Kaya nga, we deserve, mga overseas Filipino workers, we deserve na give extra attention sa mga overseas Filipino workers in terms of protecting the interest and welfare of the overseas Filipino workers. No matter where they are, be it in United States of America, Saudi Arabia, United Kingdom, sa London ba, sa Singapore ba, sa Lebanon, sa Thailand, sa Malaysia po, wherever they are po. Because parehas din po, we remit our pera namin po sa Pilipinas regularly. And because of this remittance po, malaking tulong na yon sa economy natin dyan po sa Pilipinas. So, okay, during the time of BBM, when he attended ang EPEC event dyan po sa South Korea last week, no? Last week po, he announced that ang mga Filipinos, I think we have a total of something like 42,000 population of Filipinos dyan po sa South Korea, no? And no less than our BBM, our president announced that huwag kayo maalala because mga Filipinos dito sa Busan City, no? Very soon, they're going to, ang gobyerno will be establishing a consulate office dyan po sa Busan, and that will, in many ways po, will help ang mga Filipinos po save time and money. Because kung operational na ang consulate office dyan po sa Busan, ibig sabihin mga Filipinos, when they need consular services, renewal of their passport or whatever consular services they need, to make sure that they remain legally working and residing in South Korea, or dyan po sa Korea po, no? They do not need to go to Seoul, sa capital po, dyan po. Malayo yun po, time-consuming, and expensive po sa eroplano. No? So, congratulations to all the Filipinos dyan po sa Busan. And we're happy to hear. Kami mga Filipinos dito po sa Malaysia, particularly dito po sa Sabah, we are happy to hear na ang gobyerno is really concerned about your welfare dyan po sa South Korea. Very soon, mayroon na kayong extension office ng Embahada ng Pilipinas, and that will be the consulate office dyan po sa lugar ninyo sa Busan. Maganda yan po. Congratulations. Swerte kayo po. You are very lucky po. You are very lucky na at least nag-isip ang gobyerno na maglagay ng, sabihin natin, consulate office dyan po sa Busan. So, dito naman sa Malaysia po, we really envy. Dito sa Sabah, we really envy them po. We have been shouting for this thing po. Parehas ang problema ang mga Filipinos dyan sa Busan at saka mga problema namin dito po sa Sabah, Malaysia. Wala kami dito consulate office. We don't have consulate office here. We have embassy in Malaysia, and that is located dyan po sa Kuala Lumpur. Kuala Lumpur is the capital of Malaysia. And the distance between Kuala Lumpur and Sabah, kung mag-eloplano tayo, if we use plane, it will take almost 3 hours. From Kuala Lumpur to go to Sabah, Kota Kinabalu po, it will take almost 3 hours. Almost 3 hours. And of course, it's not expensive. Kung may pera. It is expensive kasi ang mga Filipinos po, instead of wasting their money sa travel, we prefer that we send it back to the Philippines sa mga loved ones natin po. And indirectly, we are helping the economy of the Philippines. We have been shouting that for how many years? Decades na po. But dahil sa Sabah claim, mayroon tayong Sabah claim, ang Pilipinas. May Sabah claim tayo po. Dahil sa Sabah claim, hindi pwede ang Philippine government to put an extension embassy office dito po sa Sabah. We can do it a mobile consulate office, but not permanent because of the Sabah claim. Yun ang ano natin po. And that we Filipinos, we understand. We really understand. Hindi pwede. Now, if you compare Filipinos sa West Malaysia and Filipinos dito sa East Malaysia, sa Sabah po and Sarawak, if you compare ang problema namin, when it comes to consular services, assistance from our Philippine Embassy po, mas maraming Filipino dito sa Sabah kailangan ng consular services. Regular consular services compared to the Filipinos dyan po sa Kuala Lumpur or sa West Malaysia. In terms of, sabihin natin, population of Filipino communities sa West Malaysia and Sabah and Sarawak, mas marami kami dito po sa East Malaysia or Sabah and Sarawak. Yet, you could hardly get consular services from our own embassy. Own embassy po. Okay, because of Sabah claim, ang embahada natin, I just want to explain to you itong sitwasyon ng mga Filipinos. Because of the Sabah claim, ang embahada natin, in order to extend assistance to ang mga kababayan dito sa Sabah, they normally do itong irregular consular mission sa Sabah. And it will come every 3 or 4 months. Every 3 or 4 months. Ibig sabihin, if this month, dito sa Kota Kinabalu City, and then for the next consular service will be organized sa ibang distrito naman. Sandakan, Dahadatu, dito sa Sabah. Now, when they do their consular service dito sa Sabah, it's always limited to 5 days lang po. 5 days lang yon. So, 5 days lang yon. If you miss that 5 days, then you have to wait for the next consular mission. And if you notice, ang mga Filipinos, kung may consular office dito, service dito po, organized by this consular team, ang daming tao po will go by the thousands. And limited din ang services rendered to the Filipinos po during that 5 days po. They only work from 9 o'clock until 5 o'clock in the afternoon. And they limited to 150 applicants. 150 applicants a day. I-times 5 mo yun po, compared to the thousands of Filipinos, queuing, definitely po, mayroon mga Filipinos, maraming mga Filipinos will not be able to get ang much needed assistance from the team, consular team ng Philippine Embassy natin dyan po sa Kuala Lumpur. Yon ang problema dito po sa Sabah. Yon ang problema. And hanggang ngayon po, we did not see any. I don't know, correct me if I'm wrong. Siguro, I don't know, but I've been here. Hindi natin, I did not see in the news, local newspapers natin sa TV, sa radio po dito sa Sabah, na ang embahada natin, ang ambassador natin dyan sa Kuala Lumpur visited Sabah. Dyan lang po siya sa West Malaysia. And if you compare, mas maraming problema dito sa Sabah po kaysa sa West Malaysia. Now, itong problema po, we can solve this problem if only we work together, all of us. No? If only we work together. Ang embahada dyan po sa Kuala Lumpur, ang authorities dyan po sa Pilipinas, and at saka mga Filipinos dito po. In fact, before the COVID, that was 2019, there are certain groups po, Filipino communities po, who tried to talk to the people in Manila and asking or suggested if it is possible, instead of consulate office, permanent consulate office dito po sa Sabah, be it in Sandakan, Ladatu, or Kota Kinabalu, or elsewhere, why don't we put up a Philippine Passport Facilitation Center? Philippine Passport Facilitation Center. It is a facilitation center to help facilitate ang mga Filipinos in terms of rendering consular services. Malaking tulong na yun po. Mga Filipinos dito sa Kota Kinabalu, during that time, 2019 po, before the COVID, we were ready to help. Even temporarily, we are even willing to shoulder ang expenses po. But at least, make it fast ang renewal of passports, ang services ng if we need sabihin natin consular services, madali po ang mga documents namin, we have a lot of volunteers willing to open up an office dito po, an office dito, and we will assist sa Philippine government on speeding up itong consular services po, which the Filipinos badly needed dito po sa Sabah. In the 70s, yes, dami tayong mga illegal immigrants dito po. But ang mga Filipinos po, as the year goes by po, we realize, many of us realize, yung mga illegal immigrants, undocumented Filipinos po, may job opportunities dito po, but they cannot grab it because hindi sila legalized. The Malaysian government do not agree hiring undocumented foreign workers. So, nag-realize na po, nag-realize na ang mga Filipinos po, na mabuti pa, let's go back to the Philippines and get our Philippine passport. Total, mayroon na tayo dito mga employers po willing to hire us and be legal. So they did it. Kaya nga po, if you look at the Sabah ngayon po, unlike before, konti na lang ang mga illegal immigrants natin dito. Meron pa rin, pero konti lang. No? Konti lang po. Because if you are legally working, residing dito po, maganda ang mga benefits. You will be properly protected not only by the Philippine government, but also by the Malaysian government. Ang sweldo ninyo po, they have to follow, ang mga employers, they have to follow ang sabihin natin, minimum wage. What is the minimum wage now? 1,500 ringgit, 1,500 ringgit, 1,800 ringgit a month. So karamihan ng mga Filipinos dito po, they enjoy now because they are properly documented. But the only problem is, kung kailangan na sila mag-renew ang work permit nila or need some consular services po, nahirapan dahil they have to go to Kuala Lumpur. If they don't want to go to Kuala Lumpur, it will be very expensive for them to renew. Because if they are going to engage ang services ng mga recruitment agencies po, no? Mahal na mahal po. Not only Filipinos are complaining itong presyo ng renewal fees being charged by recruitment agencies dito po sa Sabah. Even local employers, mga Malaysians po, they shake their heads and say, this is too expensive. But what to do? Our workers, Filipino workers, are good, loyal, hardworking. They're willing to fork out the money. Kung pwede lang po, kung pwede lang sana po, help the Filipinos dito, no? In terms of help realize itong Philippine facilitation, passport facilitation natin dito po sa Sabah, para at least it will create a win-win situation both for the employers and the employees. And of course, definitely the Philippine government will also benefit because we are sending or remitting money monthly, if not weekly po, no? Regular yun po. So yan po, no? Yan po. Yun ang problema. Now, another thing, there must be a communication po, no? Between ang mga Filipinos dito po and ang Philippine government natin. You remember, every time noon, there is mass deportation dito po sa Sabah. Ang Zamboanga City, for example, is making a big hoo-ha. Pagdating ang mga deportees sa Zamboanga, malaki talaga ang volume. Let's say 1,000, 2,000 deportees po. Zamboanga City will be shouting. Will be shouting and putting the blame to the Malaysian government or Sabah government po. This can be solved. For me, this can be solved. The best solution dito po is to avoid mass deportation po. To avoid mass deportation, we should create the Philippine Facilitation Center. Why? Because they don't need to be illegal immigrants anymore. They can apply for proper documentations dito mismo sa Sabah and be legalized rather than wait to be arrested for illegal violation of the Malaysian immigration law and then be deported. So kung mayroon tayong facilitation center dito po that will be operated from Monday to Friday from 8 a.m. hanggang 5 p.m., then we will solve this problem. We will solve the problem na sa Zamboanga po. Kaya nga I'm asking kung pwede with the Filipino community dito po at saka ang Zamboanga City, no? Zamboanga City, ang city council nila do po, ang mayor nila po, no? Why don't they pass a resolution, no? Resolution to the national government diyan po sa Maynila and ask them to facilitate the realization of this Philippine Passport Facilitation Center in Zamboanga, in Sabah. May mga technicalities kami dito po sa Sabah. We are more than willing to sit down. Sit down. In fact, I myself, I already spoke to some leaders natin dyan po sa Pilipinas, dyan sa Manila, and also dito po sa BARM area po. Even ang BARM is more than willing po to assist. Problema natin dito din po ang transportation. Mayroon lang tayo ngayon po special passes given to itong vessel MV Antonia 1 po from Sandakan to Zamboanga, no? To transfer or to bring Filipino deportees back home. So, kung we will open up another one, dito po sa, let's say, Lahadatu to Bongao, no? Maganda din yun po, no? So, mayroon mga choices. Kasi, if we have these choices, Lahadatu and Zamboanga, tapos mayroon tayo KK to Manila, then, it will be easier for the Filipinos to go home and do whatever they need to do in documentation-wise. And at the same time, holiday sila and spend money in the Philippines po. And that is revenue for the Philippine government. Yun po sana po. No? I spoke to some politicians dito po, no, sa Sabah, and we received positive, affirmative reaction from them. Pero depende na yun po, no, sa Philippine government. It is not impossible, kasi sabi nila imposible yun na Sir Nick, no? It is not impossible. This is not the first time the Philippine government has approved Philippine Passport Facilitation Center. I think if I'm not mistaken, and I wrote that story, na ang Philippine government in 2019 or 2020, ang Philippine government opened a Philippine Passport Facilitation Center in one of the areas dyan po sa Saudi Arabia, because they have something like 600 population of Filipinos in that particular area. And the Philippine government granted that thing to open up Passport Facilitation Center to help ang mga Filipinos dyan. And not only in Saudi Arabia. The Philippine government also approved the application of a Philippine Passport Facilitation Center somewhere in one area in Japan. Okay din yan po. They approve. So I don't think so. It is very impossible for the Philippine government to open up Passport Facilitation Center dito po sa Sabah. Sa Sabah po. So I hope ganito po ang issue natin ngayon. I just want to make it to let everybody understand na the importance of Philippine Facilitation Center. We are not talking about consulate office because we know unless the Sabah claim will be dropped, then only we can see the creation of the consulate office. So in the meantime, ang gusto namin po to protect us also, why don't you or the government do something and approve, help realize, establish itong Passport Facilitation Center dito sa Kota Kinabalu. It is too expensive po if we engage the services of this legal recruitment agencies dito po sa Sabah. Kawawa din mga Filipinos po. Kawawa ang mga Filipinos. So sana lang po, the government, ang authorities natin po, really look into it. Unless, kaya nga sabi, you cannot blame sa mga Filipinos natin, mga kababayan natin dito. You cannot blame, sometimes they think, hindi yan mangyari, Sir Nick. Dahil, they take us as second-class citizens ng Pilipinas. Dahil we came from Mindanao. Karamihan ng mga Filipinos dito po came from Mindanao. Grabe, ano? Grabe, ano? You cannot blame them if they are thinking this way. You see? So sana lang po, no? Sana lang po. Itong issue, itong Philippine Passport Facilitation Center, no? Ang gobyerno natin dyan po sa Zamboanga, no? Or even ang Zamboanga, Basilan, Sulu, and Tawi-Tawi po, no? They will pass their respective resolutions po forwarded to the national government sa Department of Foreign Affairs ba o kung saan po, no? And arrange meetings with us dito sa Sabah to help materialize. We are more than willing po to assist ang government natin po dyan sa Pilipinas for the creation of this Philippine Passport Facilitation Center, and we are more than willing also po to do whatever required, no? Pass whatever documents or letters of communications po to the Sabah government, Malaysian government po to help realize the creation of the Philippine Passport Facilitation Center. This will help solve. It will create a win-win situation po. Win-win situation in the sense that we will be able, with the creation of this Philippine Passport Facilitation Center, we will be able to help the Sabah government solve the perennial problem of presence of illegal immigrants dito sa Sabah. And at the same time, with the creation of this Philippine Passport Facilitation Center, the Philippine government is helping their countrymen dito po make life easy while working in Malaysia. And in terms of revenue po, the Philippine government will also gain. And in terms of smooth movements of Filipinos, overseas Filipino workers, sa places of origin nila po, will not be hampered. Will not be hampered po. So it's a win-win situation. Why don't we think about it? Why don't we think about this? Na let's work together with the Malaysian government. No? Lahat tayo, mga Filipinos dito sa Sabah, Filipinos dyan po sa Pilipinas, Sulu o sa BAM area, sa Manila po, no? Let's work. Let's work together po. For this, maganda ang buhay ng mga Filipinos. At the same time, when it comes of trading, it will benefit po ang mga Filipino traders, businessmen who are doing business with Sabah. Wala silang problema. In the event they will have some problems sa Sabah, renewal of their documents or they need consular services, may opisina na tayo dito po sa Sabah. They don't have to worry about rush going back to the Philippines. No? So they will feel secured ang mga businessmen. At the same time, secure din po ang, sabihin natin, mga Malaysian businessmen who wants to do business sa Mindanao or sa Pilipinas po. So, yun po ang suggestion natin. So, itong issue today that I want to raise. So, ingat lang tayo po, no? And let's pray that itong dream natin to have this Philippine Passport Facilitation Center will be realized soon, if not too soon. Kagaya what happened dyan po sa South Korea, sa Busan, masayang-masayang mga Filipinos ngayon kasi anytime soon, ang Philippine government will be setting up a consulate office dyan po sa Busan. And this, it will help in many ways sa mga Filipinos in that particular area, sa Busan. So, before I will end up this program natin for November 3rd, I just want to ask everybody sa mga Filipinos natin dyan po sa Pilipinas, ingat lang kayo po kasi may typhoon tayo, no? Expected typhoon na darating today dyan po sa Pilipinas. Dyan po sa Pilipinas, ingat lang tayo and based sa mga reports natin po, no? Let me read you this report. Severe tropical storm, Tino, ang pangalan po is Tino, severe tropical storm Tino has intensified further and is now nearing typhoon strength. At 7 a.m. today, Monday, severe tropical storm Tino was located 360 kilometers east of Guam, eastern Samar, packing winds of 110 kilometers per hour with gets up to 135 kilometers per hour. It is moving southwestward at 25 kilometers per hour. Tino also continues to move closer to the land. Wind signal number 3 is now raised in southwestern eastern Samar, Dinagat Islands and Siargao, and Bukas Grande Islands of Surigao del Norte. So these are the areas po. No? The whole province of Bohol, northern and central Cebu, and northwestern Negros Oriental have also been placed under signal number 2. So, areas po sa Mindanao po likely to be affected. And the typhoon, based on what I heard sa weather forecast 2-3 hours ago po, na it is expected to leave the Philippine area of responsibility or PAR by Wednesday or Thursday po. Sana lang po it will not bring damages, a lot of damages dyan po sa Pilipinas. Kasi galing na tayo sa earthquake, galing na tayo sa typhoon po. Siguro tama na po. Although this is a typhoon season na po. No? Typhoon season na po. And ready na ready. Sana ang gobyerno natin to extend whatever assistance are needed in the event. In the event something or this typhoon will be very strong and threatens lives and properties of the flood victims po. No? Typhoon victims po. So, ingat lang tayo once again. So, with this, Nico Fabian would like to say thank you very much for making me a part of your day today. Sana lang po, masking paano, I managed to give you some important news and at the same time, entertain you for the past few minutes or almost an hour po. And I'll make sure that I will be back with you tomorrow to make sure that you also get kung ano man ang news na you deserve to get. So with this, I would like to say Malaysia, Sabah, the Philippines, God bless us all. Take good care of yourself and ingat lang tayo po kasi darating na ang typhoon. Bye!